Welcome to the Greenway with Mac, a channel dedicated to active transportation. This video is part of a series from Valencia, Spain. The metro system has created a list of 18 bike routes that start at one metro station and end at another one. This is Route 3, called the Maritime facade, and starts at the Ayora metro station on the eastern part of the city. Over the course of 6.5 miles, you'll see a mixture of city, beach, and orchard, and end up at the Alboraya Palmaret metro stop. Today's journey can be done in 45 minutes to an hour, plus your stops. The ride is almost perfectly flat and can be done by anyone who is comfortable crossing streets. Nearly all of the ride is either off the street completely or in protected bike lanes. I do want to acknowledge this guy parked in the bike lane. This is an extremely rare occurrence in Valencia. Most pedestrians and drivers understand the bike lanes and are courteous. Straight ahead is the Maritime Soroya station. Here you can catch metro lines 5 and 7 or tram lines 6 and 8. The building is avant-garde in style and composed mostly of glass. I want to compliment the city here. There was a closed section of the bike lane, but if you look closely, they have added a barrier to create a safety tour on the street. Bicimetro is a list of 18 different cycling routes that start at one metro station and end at another. It's a great resource, but the directions can be very difficult to follow. My hope is that this video makes duplicating these routes a little easier. Be sure and check out my playlist that will eventually contain videos for all 18 routes. One important note is that bicycles are not permitted at underground stations. Our origin station at Ayora and both of these stations in Alboraya are underground, so you can't take the train to or from these stations. I'll cover options back to the city center at the end of the video. The tracks on our right are for the tram. Valencia's metro system has 6 rail lines and 3 tram lines. 2 of those tram lines run on these tracks, the 4 and the 6. Line 8 is also a tram. There were plans to add a tram line along the beach and up to Port Saplaya, but as often happens in Spain, an economic crisis killed those dreams. If you turn left on this street and take it 3 blocks, then you'll find Casa Montaña on the left. This restaurant has been here since 1836 and is a true destination. While a bit pricey, people rave about the tapas. Once we have crossed Passeig de Remor, we are officially at the Port of Valencia. The Port of Valencia is the 5th busiest seaport in Europe and the busiest port in the Mediterranean. In addition to huge amounts of cargo passing through the port, Valencia is a destination for cruise ships. There are also several ferries that run to places like Ibiza and Mallorca. We are currently riding on what was the Formula 1 street circuit racetrack between 2008 and 2012. On the right is Vélez e Vents. This building was built for the America's Cup in 2007. Currently, it houses 3 restaurants, a music venue, and is a meeting space for events. This restored building stands in front of the public boat ramp and has plans to be the Museum of the Sea. Carefully cross the street using the crosswalk and turn left. We have a nice bike lane on the other side that will guide us around this warehouse, through Neptune Plaza, and finally towards the beach. Valencia has over 100 miles of protected bike lanes. I personally try to get around the city using only these lanes because they allow for a more relaxed, car-free journey. I would estimate that about 75% of my trips around the city are either in these lanes or on ciclocalles, which are streets designated as slow-traffic bike routes. Unfortunately, Google doesn't label these lanes in dark green like you can find in the US. But I hear there's someone on YouTube that makes content to fill this void. The giant white hotel is the Hotel Balneari Les Arenes. A balneary is a seaport resort commonly found all over Latin America, and Las Arenes is Valenciano for sands. Widely considered to be the top hotel on Valencia's beach, the five-star hotel is impressive. Originally built in 1898, this hotel hosted Priyanka Chopra when she was in town shooting the TV show Citadel. This neighborhood to the left is Cabanyal. According to The Guardian in 2020, this was Europe's third coolest neighborhood. The neighborhood is lucky to be here. For a decade, the People's Party, a conservative government running Valencia, tried to build a car road to the sea. Part of what makes this neighborhood so unique is the style and design of tile facades of the homes. Locals rallied to save their homes legally in the courts and, at times, physically stopping the bulldozers. While 125 of the 1,600 homes were destroyed, the neighbors were able to stop the destruction and save the remaining ones. In 2015, the residents threw out the car-centric government, and Valencia has had a human-first approach ever since, adding bike lanes and pedestrianizing the major plazas. As you can see, the beaches here in Valencia are huge. During the high season, you can rent umbrellas and chairs down by the water. There are multiple playgrounds along the beach, including a large one just south of the Marina Beach Club. Dogs are allowed here on the promenade, but not on the sand in most areas. Across the port to the south, you'll find a great dog beach called Playa Canina de Pinedo. Joaquin Soroya, the Valencia-born painter, regularly came to this beach, Malvarosa, for inspiration. While Soroya was an excellent draftsman who boldly used color to paint sympathetic subjects such as children with polio and syphilis, it was his understanding of light that stands out in his legacy. These images demonstrate his use of light both indoors and outdoors. He has become known as the Master of Light. This painting, Another Marguerite, was donated to Washington University in St. Louis, where you can currently see it on display. Another notable painting was a portrait of U.S. President Taft, which can be seen at the Taft Museum of Art in Cincinnati, Ohio. Visitors and residents in Valencia likely know Soroya's name, even if they're not familiar with his work, because the high-speed rail station has been named for him. Valencia has a really good bike share called Valenbici. In the city, the station coverage is really good, and this is a great way to get around, including on some of the Bicimetro routes. Today's route is one of the better ones, but you'll either need to replace the bike regularly to replace your time, or just pay a few extra euros for keeping the bike over the 30-minute time limit. As you can see in the map here, there are a ton of stations over the first half of the route, but the final stretch into Alboraya is a dead spot. For more information on Valencia, you can check out my video about using the system. This palm tree-lined promenade could easily be mistaken for a Southern California beach. Patacona Beach, like Cabañal and Malvarosa, is lined with places to eat and drink in paradise. As you move further north to this area, the crowds get thinner and thinner, especially in the off-season. You should be able to find a bike rack if you're ready for a break. Unfortunately, the bathrooms on the beach only seem to be open during the high season. Once we make our way around this corner, we lose the bike path. In its place is a hard-packed dirt road that is no problem on a bike. There are two roads, and we are going to take the one that continues north and goes parallel to the busy road on our left. Eventually, we will pick up a bike lane again along this little road. I've done this route about 5 times, and I've yet to see a car on it. This hermitage was built in 1907 and commemorates a miracle which took place on this spot. The legend says that a priest, while crossing the gully, lost the sacred scriptures, but some fish returned them, carrying them in their mouths. If you go across this bridge and then immediately right towards the beach, you will end up at Port Saplaya in less than a mile. This small community of 2,000 wraps around a marina in an intimate way that gives it the nickname the Little Venice of Valencia. For the next mile, we are hugging the southern edge of the Carachet Ravine. Here on the right are 2 separate displays with information about the plant and animal life in and around the ravine. The surface here is dirt, but pretty well maintained. It's a little bumpy, but even road bikes should be able to handle it. If you're not familiar with Valencia, it sits on the eastern coast of Spain on the Mediterranean Sea. Valencia is Spain's 3rd largest city with a population of about 800,000. The climate is relatively mild, but can be very humid. The winter highs get into the low 60s, while summer highs are typically in the high 80s. But the sun here feels different. No matter what time of year, direct sunlight makes you feel 10 degrees warmer. In the winter, this is a delight. In the summer, it can be blistering. I did the ride in February, and it was absolutely perfect. This intersection can be busy to cross, and there is not a stop sign or traffic light. Take extra care to cross and continue on the red path. Once you're here, you're officially on the Chura Greenway. This 10-mile greenway stretches from the northeast of Valencia up to the town of Puçol. The path is a former railroad corridor and has some terrific views of the orchard. Look for the card that covers this route in a separate video. Be careful of cars coming from your left at this crossing. Alboraya grows a lot of different crops, but they are known for tiger nuts. These are the main ingredient used in horchata, which makes Alboraya a logical place to try this sweet treat.
Spanish horchata is different from Mexican horchata, which is made with rice instead of tiger nuts.
This little building on the right is a former train stop for the town of Alboraya. Keep your eyes open for the Moors Bridge on the right, which is where we are going to turn and enter the village. The Moors Bridge is a Romanesque bridge made of ashlar stone that originally crossed the Vera irrigation canal between La Patagonia and La Malvarosa. In the 1990s, it was moved to its current location to be observed as a monument. We are going to sneak into downtown Alboraya by using this contraflow bike lane on the left side. This street is La Horchata and is known for having lots of places to buy horchata. Most of the places are to the left, but it's a one-way street with traffic facing you. We will be looping around closer to those shops in a minute, so stick with this route and you'll have a nice safe way to ride to them. This is the Alboraya Paris Aragon metro station. While this wasn't on the itinerary of Route 3, I found it by mistake. There is a nice off-street route to the other metro station from here, so we are going to turn around and head south towards it. Remember, taking your bike on the train at either of these stations is not allowed, but I have a few suggestions for returning to the city center. An easy and obvious option is to retrace your steps back to the city. However, if you're feeling adventurous, you can continue south from these stations. You are only a few hundred yards away from the outer edge of Valencia. I have a short video that will cover this route. Use the card at the top of the screen to see it. Alboraya has a population of about 24,000 people. The Spanish word for tiger nut is chufa, or chufe in Valenciano. This is why you may hear people from Alboraya referred to as chuferos. This street on the left is Horchata, which has many of the horchata shops. Go left, and you can't miss them. Hit like if you've enjoyed the video and subscribe to see where I go next. I hope you have enjoyed the trip and I'll see you on the next Greenway.